Have you ever felt completely drained, depleted, exhausted around a particular person for no apparent reason? Some people are like a breath of fresh air or walk in the park and bring unexpected lightness and comfort to your life. They just walk in and light up the room or crackle with energy, practically electrifying you with their presence. In a good way, of course. And then there are those who leave you feeling absolutely out of sorts, feeling stressed out, guilty, or almost electrocuted or exhausted down to the very last molecule. Allow me to introduce you to energy vampires. An energy vampire is a person who feeds off your emotional energy by means of an argument, belittlement, criticism, or mostly other one sided conversations. You will know if you have one in your life if you feel totally drained after spending time with that person. Could be a co-worker, romantic partner, family member, sibling, relative, an acquaintance, or even some so-called friends. They say they care for you and support you, but their words and actions speak quite the opposite, making you feel terrible about yourself, leaving you drained and depleted of your energy. But, you won't know unless you've actually been attacked because they've just been love bombing you so far. They'll tell you what you want to hear until their evil twin or their default self takes over. And then you'll see shaming, rejection, etc., other aspects of their personality. They are your everyday narcissists or have a borderline personality disorder. They have no conscience. They are overly dramatic with no moral compass. And these people eat you up like an invisible parasite that eats you on a cellular level and triggers multiple illnesses, wherein no medication, meditation, yoga, diet, etc., other medical treatments would work. Their negativity attacks your cells, resulting in stress-producing cortisol. Take a deep breath if you feel you're in the presence of an overpowering, pushy, or a negative person. Just follow the breath and tell yourself that you know what's happening and you can deal with it. I know it's difficult and easy said than done, but it is in that very moment that it is important to remember our individual power. No matter which type of energy vampire you're dealing with, you're allowed to walk away. Many of us find this really hard to do. We're afraid of being thought of as impolite. We don't want to offend people. But there are plenty of ways to remove yourself from a killing conversation or a situation. We've just got to figure out what works for us. Recognize the signs. You obviously come to know when you're feeling drained, but can't figure out why. Try tuning into your physical reactions where you're feeling sick to the stomach or feel tense in the presence of a certain person or a conversation. Do you feel tired or, end up in a headache after you hang up with someone on the phone? Do you find yourself feeling exhausted, bored, irritated, stressed, anxious, threatened, overwhelmed, or even depressed after a few moments in that person's company? If that describes a familiar experience, chances are you have been in the company of an energy vampire. Now, how do you avoid being drained by an energy vampire? Here, the extent of your own emotions, your own emotional capacity will determine how much you let this person bother you or affect you. At this point, you need to be able to self-reflect, which means being cautious about your own reactions. Act and not react upon the current situation. Have a daily self-reflective practice. Focus on personal development like meditation, yoga, walking, coloring, cooking, cycling, reading, etc. at least for 30 to 45 minutes. That will increase your emotional capacity, keeping you strong, focused, positive, and happy. Having a mentor or a life coach definitely helps too. And nothing like good old friends, the progressive and positive kinds. Energy vampires are emotionally immature individuals who have the sense that the whole world revolves around them. They're almost incapable of seeing things from other person's perspective and often lack empathy. Their whole world exists to serve them, and you are just the latest object upon which they have set their sight for exploitation, by the way. Until the next prey, of course. Step back. I'd say here that you step back and think about what kind of people trigger you. Because oftentimes our triggers are actually the unhealed parts of ourselves, and we keep attracting such people till we haven't worked on those issues. And when you pay attention to such drainers, you might actually end up discovering things you may need to address within your own selves. They say once we learn the lesson we must from life, we are no longer worn out by such people that keep coming back to us in different ways and faces, and you are no longer robbed of your precious peace. Feed your soul, not a narcissist or an energy vampire. People who display the energy vampire traits generally lack empathy, sensitivity, and emotional maturity. And as a result of the pain or insecurity they feel inside, energy vampires are addicted to feeding on the vitality of others as an attempt to heal their own inner suffering. Do not lock horns. I repeat, do not lock horns. Energy vampires are attracted to or target empaths and highly sensitive people. And if you are a highly compassionate person who doesn't know how to set boundaries, well, then it's highly likely that you're already surrounded by energy vampires right now. When people undermine or mock your dreams, your life path and choices, or criticize you, remember, they're telling their story, not yours. Save yourself for the people who actually value you and replenish your soul. More in my next video on the EV types, energy vampire types, and how to ditch them. I'll see you soon.